Hi, my name is Evie.
Hi, I'm Saach, and today we'll be performing Come Back to Earth by Mac Miller.
So what inspired you to pick this song today?
I think the song is really rich in its lyrics and also in the chords, and then on top of that, just the fact that he passed away, it kind of adds that extra meaning onto it because the content of the song was really, really deep and it's related to mental health and that. So obviously it's something that I can empathize with, something that most people can empathize with. So I just thought, yeah, it's a beautiful song to play, even just naked with a piano and lyrics. That's fine, keep that in.
Okay, cool. So you've just released your EP, A Quiet Fervour. What was the creative process behind that and what was your inspiration?
Yeah, so most of it took place over my summer holidays, like in between first year and second year uni. So, and there was a big mix of things because some of the lyrical content is derived from, sentiments throughout my first year uni, and some is like during the holidays as well, which is why there's quite a balance of happy and sad songs. My creative process has always just been, I've always been a producer first, so it's always just being inspired by whatever I'm listening to at the time, and then making an idea, whether that be a beat or just a chord sequence based on what I'm listening to, just in my room, on my laptop, like nothing fancy. And from there, I'm basically have the whole song like made before I even start writing lyrics, because to me lyrics are so unnatural, and if I didn't have to write lyrics, I wouldn't. But yeah, so lyrics always come last.
Okay, and who inspires you, like as a musician?
Well, I feel like I've grown up in a funny household because my mum and dad, they're both really into music, but they have really different tastes. So my dad's quite a rock and roller, and like a blues person. So he loves, the Stones, Bruce Springsteen, people like that, Eddie Hazel. My mum's more of a disco person, so she's into disco Motown. So and then on top of that, I've kind of drifted towards hip hop and R&B. So I definitely have all those influences. On top of that, I played saxophone in a big band in school for 6 years. So playing like 3 times a week, jazz tunes from Miles Davis to John Coltrane, everything like that. So I pull my inspirations from everywhere, and whatever comes out is what it is. Yeah.
And can we expect any new music from you anytime soon, or?
Yeah, maybe. I've been pretty lazy, to be honest, in the fact that I'm always making ideas, but I've been pretty lazy in turning it into full songs. I've made about 2 or 3 full songs that I haven't released, but I don't know. The more I delay them, the less I want to put them out. So. Yeah, I have a period in the next month or so where I really don't have many responsibilities before uni starts. So hopefully I can really try and finish some stuff. Yeah.
And as a musician, I guess it's hard to be constantly creating things. What's your advice to those who are like stuck in a bit of a rut, I guess?
It's a good question. I think I need some advice for myself. But what I would say is, don't force it. I think and don't just make music because you're trying to sound like other people. I know I've been caught in a trap where I've heard a really good album or just even a good song and I've tried to emulate it like exactly. And then at the end, I'm like, this isn't me, right? You know? So yeah, I also think it's not a bad idea to revisit ideas that you've made a year, 2 years ago. Some of the tracks on Quiet Fervor, like the initial beat, I would have made maybe when I was even in year 12 still. So that's like over a year and a half from when it was actually released. So yeah, there's tons of different things you can do to stay motivated.
And you mentioned that sometimes you can fall into a cycle where you're producing things that are basically like they're based on what other people want from you or what you wish you would sound like. So how do you get out of that mindset of trying to reach other people's expectations?
I think just reflecting on your own work, like there's been some times where I've written things that really don't reflect my experiences, but reflect other people's, like famous people's. Like, you know, I'm an upper middle class private school kid who like, you know, music is a passion for me, but it's not as if, especially because I've dabbled in hip hop, like there's an expectation that you rap about a certain kind of thing, but that's really, it's not my experience. So I've really tried not to focus on, you know, whatever guns, girls, like, you know what it is, like the main money, the main parts of, or the stereotypical themes of hip hop that people, you know, listen to.
And what are your thoughts on musicians being a part of the political sphere?
I think it can do a lot of good, and also in some places it doesn't work. So there are some musicians who are more than musicians, who, you know, Kendrick Lamar, for example, really, To Pimp a Butterfly was such a major step in raising Black voice, and the fact that it was you know, it won the Pulitzer Prize really, really attests to the fact that there is more recognition for Black voices in music. And on the other hand, you have artists who just, you know, follow a trend and will do something to please their fans rather than something that they actually believe in. So yeah, I'm not much of a fan of that either. And it's hard to distinguish between those who are being genuine and those who are, you know, puppets for their record labels. But should music be totally apolitical? No, never. It's an art form. It's how you express yourself, and we can't limit that kind of thing. Yeah.
And do you think any of your music is political in any way, or would you create music which is political?
I wouldn't say no to it. I wouldn't, you know, yeah, I wouldn't say no to it. But for me personally, the main thing for music for me is just expressing myself, expressing my emotions rather than expressing my views, if that makes sense. So yeah, there's a subtle difference between that, and yeah, I don't feel like my music's that political personally. I guess if I did feel really strongly about something, then sure, I'm not going to rule it out, but I mean, just what comes out naturally is not my political views. It's just what I'm feeling. So yeah.
What's one thing that you would change about the music industry?
One thing I'd change is basically the like the inequality that exists from a very baseline level based on what connections you have. So people will just have friends in an industry that will allow them to, you know, use a recording studio for free, or allow them to get however much promotion for free, or things like that. And of course, can you really fix that? Probably not perfectly, but you know, when someone like Paris Hilton can go and make an album that sold millions of copies when she can't sing or have any musical taste.
Don't be rude there. Paris has got a good voice.
Well, after the producers fix it, maybe, yeah.
After they auto-tune the shit out of it, but yeah.
I mean, it's not just Paris Hilton, obviously, but yeah, I mean, it seems like YouTubers, actresses, people who want a last grasp at fame can use producers how they want if they're rich enough or have the right connections. And that's what diminishes music as an art form, personally.
So, what's your favourite ice cream flavour?
My favorite ice cream flavor is probably Snickers. So
Yum.
there's a really good place in Cronulla called Frangipani Ice Cream, which I've been going to my whole life, and their Snickers. They don't have it all the time, but when they do, it's killer.
And so, what are 3 things that you would bring on a deserted island?
I think first thing I'd bring is my keyboard, which was given to me by my dad. It's a big, nice 88 key Yamaha old keyboard, and you know, like I was away for a holiday last week and I couldn't play it. I couldn't play piano for a week, and I was just like, it was so alien to me because I just felt like it should have been there. It should have been there. Like I should have just been tinkering on it. Other than that, I'd probably bring a soccer ball. I'm so used to just kicking a ball around the house that that's also just like part of me, I guess.
And then it'll become like Wilson at the end.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And then I'll go mad.
Yeah.
So that's good. And then I think the last thing's got to be my nanny. My nanny's my grandma on my mum's side. Her tandoori chicken. It's because that's that's the only food I'll ever need again in my life. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us. Where can we find your music?
My music is the ones that I really want you to hear. It's all on Spotify under the name Saach, Saach, and Apple Music. There's a few more on SoundCloud, but only listen to that if you really want to, because they're older.
Thank you.
Sweet.